After performing a target discovery in Discover, the next step is to run a scan. The scan feature helps you identify and monitor sensitive data across the devices and services found in your environment. A one-time scan is for focused, targeted work, checking a specific device, validating a new data type configuration before you roll it out, or scanning a newly discovered service for the first time. The goal is simple: scan a defined target, review the results, and finish the task. An ongoing scan is designed for continuous monitoring. It runs automatically on a schedule you define and helps track how sensitive data exposure changes over time. Ongoing scans also help establish trends and baselines. For example, you can compare scan results over time to determine whether sensitive data exposure is increasing, decreasing, or remaining stable across the environment. With that in mind, let's walk through how to set up each scan type, starting with a one-time scan. Go to Discover, Scans, and click New Scan. Select One-Time Scan and click Proceed. Enter a clear and descriptive scan name, along with an optional description for additional context, then click Next. Select the data types you want Discover to scan for. These may include predefined data types such as credit card numbers or phone numbers, or any custom data types you have created. After selecting the desired data types, click Next to configure targets. Targets are split into two categories. Devices covers endpoints and on-prem file servers, whereas services covers things like email platforms and cloud storage. Select the targets you wish to scan and click Next to configure file handling options. Enable archive file handling to scan inside compressed files, such as zip or RAR archives. Use the file date filter to limit scanning to files matching a specific date criteria. Select whether to filter by creation date, modified date, or last access date. Then define the condition: older than, newer than, equal to, or between, selecting between prompts for a start and an end date. Enable OCR for images if sensitive information exists inside image files, such as screenshots or photographed documents, where text is not directly selectable. Enable OCR for documents if the content has been rendered as an image rather than selectable text like PDFs. Enable Scan and Classify to automatically apply a classification label to each file based on the most sensitive data detected. Under Overwrite Existing Classifications, select Overwrite to replace any existing label, or Do Not Overwrite to leave pre-classified files unchanged. Under Classify method, select Classify using data type to apply the classification label tied to the matched data type, or select your custom or purview sync label to apply instead. For email service targets, configure an appropriate scan date range. If no date range is specified, the scan covers only the past 3 days by default. Next, configure directory and file type filters. By default, Discover scans all accessible content within the selected targets. You can narrow the scope by including only specific directories and file types, or by excluding locations such as backup folders, temporary directories, and log repositories. Choose the method that best fits how narrowly or broadly you want to target the scan. Click Next to review the scan configuration summary and confirm the scan settings. After confirming, click Save Scan to start it. The scan will appear in the scans list with a progress bar showing its status. The setup process for an ongoing scan is a little different. The configuration jumps straight into data type selection without needing to enter a scan name or a description. Select the desired data types to include in the scan and click Next. Unlike a one-time scan, all discovered devices and services are selected by default. Deselect any targets you want to exclude, then click Next to proceed to the Advanced section. The Advanced section covers the same file handling and filtering options available in a one-time scan, with 2 additional options specific to ongoing scans: Auto-Scan Newly Discovered Targets, which automatically includes newly discovered devices or services in future scheduled runs, and Enable New Files Since Last Scan, which limits each scheduled run to files modified since the previous scan, keeping scan duration manageable over time. Just like a one-time scan, you can also configure directory and file type filters to narrow or exclude specific locations for an ongoing scan. After configuring advanced options, click Next to schedule the ongoing scan. Configure how often the scan should run, set its start time and scheduling method. You can schedule scans by calendar date or by day of the week. In most environments, scheduling scans outside business hours is recommended, since scans can generate noticeable CPU usage, disk activity, and network traffic. Use the Avoid Scans on option to block specific days or time ranges. For example, you may want to prevent scans from running during weekday business hours, while still allowing overnight or weekend execution. At the bottom of the scheduling step, you'll find the Terminate Current Scan toggle. When enabled, any scan currently running will be stopped immediately, and the newly configured ongoing scan begins. If this is left disabled, the current scan runs to completion first, then only the newly configured ongoing scan starts. If the current ongoing scan extends past the scheduled start time of the new scan will wait for the next scheduled slot, whether that's the following week or month before starting. This means there may be a gap in your scheduled coverage, so it's worth keeping in mind when timing your scans. Once the schedule is configured, review the configuration summary and click Save Scan. Discover will automatically run the scan according to the defined schedule. Once a scan completes, you can review the results, investigate flagged files, and take remediation actions. We'll cover results and investigations in separate videos. For a complete overview of GuardWare and its features, visit the documentation site at docs.guardware.com.